Happy Truth Day, Seekers, and welcome back to the Sorta Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sorta Truth series with a drop of craft beer on the side. And not enough, frankly.
I'd agree.
If I can use my podium here to say one drop is not enough. I need at least like 3.5.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, for a good taste. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade, and today we're going to be performing an operation on Chapter 13 of Temple of the Winds.
Not a licensed one of any kind.
No, more like the game operation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Also,
it's a little more low stakes.
Is it Truth Day because it's Tuesday?
Yeah, because that was my super clever thing that I did.
And the day we dropped the...
It's on Tuesday. Yeah, okay.
Truth about this.
I get it. Yeah, it's Truth Day.
Okay, cool.
Any day that you listen to the podcast is Truth Day.
Yay. I think I like it as long as it's not problematic.
Is it problematic?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so. The truth is good.
Yes.
So, it's a good day.
Okay, good. I think that about covers all of our business that we had to attend to, right?
Yeah, I guess that was all of it. Okay, well, why don't we start the chapter? I'm not sure. Did I do something bad now? Am I in trouble?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will. So, Kaylin and Nadine watch as the mysterious stranger descends down the ladder. Nadine is unimpressed when Kaylin tells her that this is the Rog Moss High Priest healer from Dahara, and he's a very important man. Right. But Nadine doesn't care, because what's he going to do? He doesn't even have any herbs, duh. Like, where's this bag of stuff?
Which, she does give off more of a, like, superiority feeling in these last chapters.
Yeah.
Than when we... Well, maybe she had a little bit of that when we first met her.
It's
like
because she's doing healing stuff. Now she's the authority here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are notes about that a little further into this chapter, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So this guy, he approaches slowly. He's wearing a cowled hood. If you listen to Slipknot, Sid's new mask, that's what it is. It's like a big hood with a face mask in front of it. But he wears like a exaggerated version of his own face as a mask, and it's kind of, it's weird to look at. This guy's face is just like in shadow.
Yeah, like the Assassin's Creed dude,
yeah.
or like sand people.
Yes, exactly like the sand people. They're hooded, you can't see their eyes.
Yeah. Those guys are funny, though.
He also has a coarse flaxen cloak. Now, flaxen is like pale yellowish.
Yeah, like, yeah. You've heard
yeah.
Flaxen hair and shit from...
Yeah, I don't know why I kept thinking of wax, and I was like, that's not it. I know that's not what he means, so I had to look it up. And I was like, flaxen, oh, like yellowish, pale.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Now,
he was as tall as Richard, with shoulders just as wide. When he says, Mord Sith, what happened to her? It was in a voice just as dark and as smooth. Ooh.
Big man on campus.
So Kaylin takes this moment to explain literally everything that happened in the book so far. And through the whole thing, all these last 12 chapters. And he's like, well, you shouldn't have left her alone. See, because she could have choked on her own vomit.
Okay.
Motherfucker. Like the one thing. Out of everything.
Although, I will say, Nadine may have been better served staying with Cara and having Kaylin take like a fucking soldier down that pathway with her.
I agree.
But what do I know?
I also kind of had the thought much later that isn't it kind of funny how they brought exactly enough people for just Kaylin and Nadine to be left alone in the last tunnel?
Yeah.
Like down to the person. There were 2 left.
Yeah, that couldn't have... Yeah.
2 more guys and this would have gone a whole different way.
Yeah, totally different.
So all the jokes we made about them not having enough, turns out they didn't.
Yeah,
by 2.
Just by 2. Just by 2. But...
So Kaylin impatiently asks if he's going to help or just stand there and talk shit. He says, quiet. I need to observe before I act, or more harm than help could be the result.
Which is like exactly the opposite of the advice given by Cara earlier in the book, which is don't hesitate.
This guy's saying take all the time you need. Take it all in, which is actually, like, it's better. It doesn't save you any time. And, Kaylin, right now, she's in a panic because her friend is hurt and she wants her friend to be helped. And this guy's just like, hey, don't rush me. That's the first thing he says. Don't rush me, okay?
Now, I will say, in combat situations versus healing situations, like, yes, time is of the essence in both situations, but you do have a little bit more luxury of, it being a one-sided time situation when you're healing somebody, as opposed to in a combat situation, you have to decide right now, or they're gonna attack you.
Oh yeah, you don't have time.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So he kneels down, checks Cara's pulse, and asks what all the stuff on the floor is. When Nadine proudly says that it's her stuff because she's a healer, he tells her that she most certainly is not.
Nah, bro.
You're an herb lady at best, okay? Now look, the lavender won't hurt, but it's not going to help either. And Nadine is, frankly, she is offended. I've said frankly twice now. I feel like that's too much.
What?
I don't know.
There's a lot of Franks floating around, whatever. It's fine.
She goes, I know. I was going to give her Maypop for that. Duh. And he goes, well, look, it's good that I got here before you did because that would have probably killed her. See, if you would have checked her pulse, like I did, you would know that it's weak, staggering, and labored, like I do. A strong sedative would have just stopped her heart. Yes, it's true. It would have stopped her convulsions, but she would be dead as a result. So
yeah. So it's not exactly what I was talking about with like the sedative I was speaking of, because I mean any sedative would kind of slow your heart rate down. But yeah, she would be in more distress and not able to stop that.
Now he tells her that she should know better than to fuck around with herbs when dealing with things of magic. And because she's from Westland and not knowing jack diddly shit about magic, Nadine apologizes. She's like, hey, yep, I didn't know that. My bad. So she's pissy about it, though. Like, she's not happy she's being told off. But at this point, now she's in territory that she for sure does not have any authority in.
Yeah.
So he takes care of Nadine in a way. This is weird. When I said we were going to talk about authority, he works his way through these women one by one, and it's kind of creepy on top of a lot of the other stuff that happens. But so, like, this is him acknowledging Nadine and being like, nope, I'm better than you in that. I'm above you, kind of.
Yeah. Well, but it also does go with what we were saying. Nadine doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. This is not just typical Westland. Oh, somebody had a baby. There's an old person who fell. Maybe somebody's having a regular ass seizure type stuff. This is magic shit.
Right. Above your pay grade.
Yeah.
And he knows Kaylin can't help right now. So he's in charge. Right. And now that he has established this, I'm the authority here. That's when he says, all right, let's open up her top.
Yeah. Let's strip this bitch.
What? I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, medical situation, though. Okay?
Yep. So with a glance at Kaylin and a nod in return, she undoes Cara's buttons. First, he puts his ear to her chest. Normal. He doesn't have a stethoscope, right, that we know of. So this is okay. Then he scooches around and he probes her neck. Like, okay, could be feeling a pulse, could be making sure her neck's not broken from flailing around. All pretty normal.
Yeah.
But then he leans over and he puts his hands on Cara's tits.
He's just squeezing away. I'm just kidding. I don't think he's squeezing.
No, I think it was fast. Yeah. But then it's like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, no, I'm examining her. I'm a doctor, I swear.
Yeah, it's all above board. It's fine.
But before being labeled a pervert, he tells them to check for themselves what he found. And they do, but they use like the back of their hands and off to the side of the breast, not like grabbing it like Rocco from Boondock Saints. I'll tip her. Now, what they find is that one side of her chest was burning hot. The other side is ice cold.
See, so it makes sense that he is examining her and stuff, right? You know, like, when you're looking at this, like, from a third party and you're outside of it, you're like, okay, if she were to see a doctor, these may be steps that they would take. Maybe behind a closed door on an exam table, but maybe they would go about it in this way. But the problem is the way he's, like, hit the air that he has about him this whole time. It sounds normal-ish when you're talking about it, but he has a weird air about him.
He's got a weird way. Well, like Kaylin using the side or the back of her hand and like the side. She didn't just like grab it like a hungry animal. You know what I mean? Like there's ways doctors do things because it's more medical that way and less creepy.
Or maybe explaining what they're doing as they're, okay, I'm going to feel her body right now and see what's going on with it and just, you know, making everyone in the room a little bit more comfortable as opposed to his just commanding air. It's weird.
I don't know about you when you were small, but little boys had to go to the doctor and we had to do the cough test where he'd put his hand on your nuts and then you would cough and he was feeling for them to ascend. That means everything's right and you're good. And he would go through and explain the whole thing before he did it just so he wouldn't do it like this guy who's like, "Hey, how was your Tuesday?" Voop.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck, man?
He's not even asking nice questions like that. He's being very abrupt. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you get felt up in the doctor's office as a woman, too. But they always are like, okay, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry if my hand is cold.
And if any of that doesn't sound good or right to you, and you go, no.
Yeah, especially if it's an unconscious patient with a family or friends in the room.
Oh, yeah. Now, he won't be entirely sure of what it means until he's done examining her, but it's not good.
No, I would assume it's not if one side of you is burning hot and the other side of you is ice cold.
He's like, did I just make you uncomfortable? Oh, well, there's going to be more of that before I know what's going on. Wink. Did you just wink at me? No, wink.
Can we turn the cameras off?
So he goes back to regular doctor stuff for a little bit. He puts his fingers to her neck, runs his thumbs along her forehead, little weird, but okay, smells her breath, rotates her head, this is more doctor-like, palpitates her abdomen. I don't know if he's making biscuits on her tummy or what's going on. All sorts of like pocking and... Pocking? I totally just read that. Poking and prodding. I was looking at prodding to be like, did I spell that right? And I went right over poking. It's poking.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's doing a bunch of poking.
I don't know what the fuck pocking is, but...
And an impatient again, much like I'm sure all of the listeners are right now, Kaylin says, well, take forever. He's like, look, her aura's fucked up, okay? So just... And then he slides his fingers into Cara's, like, outfit, and then into Cara.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he is a fucking pervert.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man? We just talked about this with the boob.
Also, it couldn't have been easy, because we know that she's wearing, like, skin-tight leather, so also way more uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. I didn't include this, right? So... Nadine initially opens her top. It's like an outfit, right? I believe it buttons all the way down, and it's like a onesie, kind of. So she undoes the top, and then while he's doing all this weird touching and stuff, and we don't know what it is, he also, like, spreads her arms, and then he, like, opens it more. So it's now, I keep saying unzipped, but it's unbuttoned down to, like, her waist.
Yeah.
Her whole torso is exposed now.
Yeah.
So now he's got easier access and he just grabs her.
Mm-hmm. and does that thing.
And then Kaylin, this is a quote, fists him as hard as she could. Come on. I know that's not what it means, but come on.
Yeah, no,
there's all this sexual stuff going on. Yeah, and then he's like, no, she doesn't punch him. She fists him so fucking hard.
Terry always chooses his word choice on purpose, I feel like.
That brought me joy.
I do have to say, before this point, because I think maybe it like passed already in the storytelling, but at one point, Kaylin's asking him questions about what he's doing, and he's like, "Don't bother me, woman."
Oh yeah, no, that's coming up.
Because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's problematic.
Okay.
And here, Kaylin does say, "Dude, fucking stop." And again, not wanting to be labeled like a pervert, he explains that she's not having convulsions exactly. She's having muscular contractions. And he needed to know if she was in a state of continual orgasm. So, I mean, I gotta know what's wrong to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So totally unconcerned with Cara and like the thing that just happened to Cara that would be very bad. She's like, "Wait, magic can do that? Can you do that? Hey.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? That's really good to know.
My name's Nadine. I traveled here to find my love, but he was taken, and here you are."
Yeah. And you're just his size, looks like.
Yeah, you're like just like him, so we can work something out. But no, he's actually unable to do that.
Aww.
So it's kind of a letdown. He's like, "Nah, I don't have magic. I'm just a healer."
Oh, that sucks a lot.
Yeah, and then he pulled his dick out. What? No. No, he didn't do that. Now, he says, "Do you want me to continue? Or do you want to see your friend die?" And Kaylin's like, "Look, go ahead. But if you do that again, you will be a one-handed healer from now on."
Which, okay, yeah, good. That's great. I do want to say, I don't know a whole lot as far as the difference between what a seizure and widespread muscular contractions would be. Like, because I thought, and this might be totally wrong, but I kind of thought that a seizure was like your brain making your muscles contract, giving you convulsions.
I think it is, but I think they were saying her heart rate was low, so it's not so much that her whole body is seizing, it's just her muscles.
Like, it's not coming from her brain, and her brain's not...
It is coming from her brain, but, like, her intestines and her liver and everything like that, those are functioning fine.
But
it's just
arms
her
and legs
arms
are
and legs,
contracting and shit.
Right. She just can't move those. And we find out here in a little while that there's actually some other stuff going on, too.
Okay. I just want to say that, like...
I think that's what it is. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Again, not a doctor.
No, all right.
Just play one on the weekends.
Oh. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what all the gloves are for.
Oh. We'll talk later.
So he asks her if she knew to hit his nerve or if she got lucky. And she tells him that she's been trained to defend herself and others. So he says, with a little practice, you could be a healer, and then you could learn to help people instead of hurt people.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, we talked about that in the last chapter when Kaylin was spinning out. She's like, well, that's why Richard likes Nadine. She helps. I hurt people. And then this guy is saying the same thing to her.
But he's saying that she could learn.
But you could learn to be better with my help. Follow me, child.
Basically, then, all it sounds like he's doing is pressing pressure points and shit.
Yeah, where Kaylin struck a nerve physically, he is doing it mentally to her.
Yeah, well, yes. No, but I'm just saying, like, his method of healing is, like, acupuncture / chiropractic. Like, you know what I mean? He's just pushing pressure points.
So far, yeah. He's just touching her, poking and prodding. Doing weird stuff.
And Kaylin just pushed a pressure point on his body, so he's like, you could be a healer, because you can find pressure points. You could do this, too. Yeah.
Just gotta buy my 1,700-part series. Anyways. Luckily, he doesn't have to grab Cara again. He already knows what he needs to do. And so do I.
Do you, Nate?
I do know what I need to do, Jade.
What's that, sir?
Take a beer break.
Yay!
And so I must confess, we don't have a different beer today.
No.
we are still drinking Perrin Cherry IPA. Those of you that saw our Patreon, The Lens, know that I bought a whole case of it. So
we're still working our way through that.
So we're still drinking it. Yeah.
We can talk a little bit more. Like, okay, so we talked about it. We didn't talk about what it like tastes like, though.
Right. It's so good you can drink it with your mouth. Which is one thing I like about it.
Yeah. It's like, it's not too cherry. A lot of cherry beers and stuff, I feel like, go a lot towards that tart, like, maybe sour-ish tart place. And this one doesn't go there.
It's much sweeter.
Yeah, and it's an IPA, but you can't really taste the hops, and it's really nice. It's a good summer drinker.
This is a river beer all day long.
This is the type of IPA, the only IPA that I like, that makes me understand why people like to drink IPAs in the summer.
Why people like IPAs, yeah.
Yeah, because it's nice for the summer.
It is. It's crisp.
But the rest of them taste like trash, and this one doesn't. Fully my opinion. That's it.
You just wanted to say it one more time.
You know.
Hey, that's okay. You know what? I think this is delicious, and I know you enjoy it too.
Cheers.
Cheers to that. Even though you think all other IPAs are trash, and I like a few more than just this one.
That's your opinion.
Stout's still my favorite.
Yeah, that's your opinion.
So. All right. Well, we are going to finish these, and we'll be back right after this.
Right after this?
Wow. Was that walking? And we are back.
Back.
So, luckily, Drefan knows what to do. He touches her temples while he has Nadine grab her ankle in a certain spot.
Ooh.
Certain spot. But then he sits back on his heels and sighs. This is not good. When Kaylin presses him for answers, he says, "If I wanted you to bother me, woman, I would ask."
Ooh.
Wow.
Now, I feel like had he not added the word woman in there, it would have changed the sentence.
Yeah. Yes, quite a bit, actually.
Like, the fact that he felt the need to add that in there just makes me feel like I know how he feels about women now. And, it's not great.
No. Well, and it was no big deal for him to open Cara's, outfit either.
Yeah.
Now I get that it may have been
in a healing capacity.
Right. It might have been necessary, but it was nothing to him. And, at first you're like, that's just because he's a healer. Like, he's got to do this.
But patterns.
Doctors got to feel your balls. It's just the thing they got to do. But
a pattern is emerging.
Yeah. Now he says this and it's like, maybe.
Yeah, he also says that she looks like a dirty scullery maid or something, which is very, even if she was, it's a very demeaning way of talking to a human being.
Yeah. No, Nadine's like, do you know who you're talking to? And that's when he's like, I don't know, like a scullery maid. Who needs a bath?
Yeah.
And Kaylin says, no, I just had one. Fuck you. Kind of thing. But which Nadine says...
was weird.
Yeah. Nadine says, this is the Mother Confessor. It's her fucking palace, and she's fucking Lord Rahl, who, by the way, is your fucking boss.
Well, she's not quite fucking him, but they're fianced.
They're fianced. She would be, if they just didn't have so many damn things to deal with.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But this makes Drefan apologize.
Yeah, he gets real steel real quick.
He's more concerned with healing Cara than observing formalities. And Kaylin gets it, right? She's like, look, I get it. But don't be a dick and make with the healing already, okay?
Yeah, you're kind of sugarcoating what you did there, though, bud. Like, there's one thing to not observe formalities. It's another thing to completely demean and talk shitty to the people around you. Yeah. So, yeah, call it what you will, but
Well, it does kind of reflect the way that Nadine was like, I'm a medicine woman and I'm important. And now, no, I'm going to also say it does kind of reflect the way that Kaylin and Cara both handle their positions. She's the Mother Confessor. Cara's a Mord Sith, and they're both like, fuck you, I'm this, rah! Now, I won't say that Kaylin has been exactly unkind to people, right? But I think that's kind of what this is bringing out to me, is that he thinks he's very important, so he's treating other people like less.
I would just be interested to see if these characters were men, if this character would be acting the same way, even if they weren't, say, Lord Rahl.
Oh, if they were just men here in the room?
Yes.
He would be doing it even more.
Maybe.
I think so.
I'm sure he has a superiority complex, but I'm just saying...
You gotta have the biggest dick in the room, right? So he'd walk in and be like, I am this and this. Now, if it was Lord Rahl in there, maybe not.
No, but I'm just... Yeah, no, I'm just saying, the way he was talking to women specifically makes me think that he thinks him, men, women.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So if men were in the room, he might still be being disrespectful, but maybe not to...
It might be just more in banter, and then this is actually cutting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll bet you're right.
That's all.
So, Nadine is annoyed, right? She's like, you gotta heal her, not pray over her. Because what he's begun to do is just move his hands around, but above Cara's body, not touching her anymore.
Yeah.
Right? We're a few inches away. Which is like, dude, could you have just done that the whole time? Really?
He had to see what he was working with first.
He had to know for sure, right?
Yeah. He had to see the goods first.
And now he's frustrated too, because he's like, I'm not just praying over her. I'm not doing like a whole bunch of oogity boogity or whatever. He's like, do you want to see what I'm doing? Do you want to know that I'm not just making this shit up like you?
Yeah, proof would be great. I would like some proof.
Yeah. So he goes, okay, bring me the mugwort and a candle. He pokes Cara in her chest with a knife.
Which no one was really concerned about,
yeah,
by the way.
No concern at all. He's already grabbed her tits and grabbed her crotch. So, like, at this point, they're like, okay, he's going to do some weird stuff. But yeah, the knife would make me go, wait, buddy. Can you explain this one before you do it?
Are you going to stab her? What are you doing?
Yeah. What's that for?
What are you doing?
Is it for yourself, by chance? No? That's going to be a problem. But so, what he does is he draws a small amount of blood, just one drop, and he scoops it into a spoon, and then he takes some of Nadine's mugwort, right, and he puts it on top, and then he holds this whole thing over a candle. And then he proceeds to tell her how her mugwort is shit.
Yeah.
And that she needs to purify it next time.
You can't leave the stems and the seeds all up in there with your mugwort. You gotta just pull the fluffy parts from underneath the leaf. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You're fucking it all up.
And she's like, mugwort's mugwort. It's fine.
Mm-mm.
Or I also like how she was like, oh, so you're going to fail in front of us all because you're not really doing anything and you're going to use my mugwort as an excuse for why that happened. He's like, no, I can still use it. It's just for your uses when you're giving it directly to people, you need the pure stuff.
Like, hey, if you're giving your medical marijuana to some pain patients, you want to give them the good buds and not the stems and seeds.
That's right. Effective medicine.
Yeah, I'm just going to be blowing this shit around the room. It's not going to be hurting nobody, but...
I'm doing magic tricks over here.
Yeah,
oh, no.
Yeah. It's not good.
You got to give it to a dude?
Yeah.
It should be good.
Someone's going to inhale this shit? You want it to taste good, don't you?
Get those stems and seeds out of there.
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Okay, so with his hands on her temples, the smoke formed into lines above her body. When he pressed the back of her skull, one of the lines moved from like one position by her hip down by her foot.
Like laser shit.
Yeah. And everybody is pretty baffled at this because, obviously they didn't see this before.
Yeah.
He explains that these are meridian lines. Doesn't the globe? Isn't there a thing about that?
Yeah, there's a thing on the globe. There's also, like, I don't know, people talk about aura and, like, your chakras, right?
Okay.
Being out of line.
I know absolutely nothing about any of that, but I've heard the term.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know certain people are like, if you find out your chakras are out of line and you put them in line, then your life changes and it's all great. I don't know a whole lot about that.
I don't know what that means, but that's what this guy's doing.
It sounds similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he explains that these are her meridian lines. It's her aura, her life force. All he's done right now is just make them visible, right?
Okay.
He's using his life force to compel her lines of force, her meridian lines, to go where they're supposed to be. Now, Drefan doesn't have magic. He has training. He has knowledge.
So
that's his power.
So if it's not magic, then what he's saying is he's using his like muscles to push pressure points. Right?
No, it's entirely different.
Like life force equals muscles pushing pressure points.
Yeah, he kind of just made it. I'm using my life force. You mean your finger there?
Yeah.
No, it's my life force.
But you don't have magic.
It's just a representation of my life force in the physical realm. It's my finger.
Okay. Got it.
Fucking great. It's very complicated. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. Totally different. Totally different thing.
Woman, after all.
I could train you. Come back to my house later. We'll talk about it.
So he has Nadine squeeze her ankle in that certain place again, right?
Ooh.
And he had a very long word. It was a very specific name. Nadine did not know where it was. She was like initially poking around a shoulder or something. He's like, no, it's her fucking ankle. Anyways.
Yeah, it gets frustrated when she doesn't know what it's called. And it's like, I'm a backwoods wrestling fucking herb
lady.
lady.
That's how you can tell that he has like an actual medical knowledge of the body. And she's like, here?
She's like, I've never read no fucking anatomy book.
Way different levels. But when she does this, she moves one of the lines, and then her legs stop moving, and Nadine is completely baffled. It fucking worked. And Cara is still.
Which would make you relieved, but also, after a second, make me a little panicked. Like, they're going to work again, though, right?
Yeah, I suppose you would be.
Now they aren't moving at all.
And so she's like, I did that? Did I do it wrong? Is it supposed to do that? Again, you should explain before we do these things. I feel like this is bad practice. So he goes on to explain that was the easy part. Now, the web of lines around her head is all wrong. She can't move, she can't speak or see, but she can hear, and she knows that we're here trying to help her. Kind of like a coma situation, I think. Even
more reason for you to explain what you're doing first, Drefan.
Cara, I'm gonna grab you in an uncomfortable place.
Yeah.
I know you can hear me. I apologize for this
invasion of your body.
I was gonna go for this, uncomfortable
violation.
Thing. Yeah, violation. There you go. For this violation. But at least you could have done that. But nope, he knows she can hear. He might not have known that then, but still.
He's still not trained to, still doesn't
he hasn't
find out
ruled
her
it out
name,
yet.
Still doesn't try to talk to her, or like you would expect a doctor to be doing. If he knew she could hear all throughout this, he should have been like, what's her name? Okay, Cara, we're going to get you out of there. Like a doctor does.
Having good bedside manner. Yeah. Well, then he says, now I need to concentrate, i.e., shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do this next part just right, we'll lose her.
Oh.
Working his way around her body, he presses on different parts. Sometimes he even used the knife, drawing never more than a single drop of blood. At everything he did, the lines would move around her body, sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. As he continued, Cara started visually relaxing and started to breathe a little bit more normal, maybe a little faster than normal, I think it was said.
Yeah.
We don't know, she's still in there. She can't see, but she could very well be conscious,
I'm guessing her breath went from, shallow struggling to just,
more natural.
Yeah. Maybe quick, because, okay, this is stressful, but better.
Yeah. Maybe some relief, too.
Yeah.
Well, finally, he presses the knife between her eyebrows and said, that should do it. I feel like that's him just, slamming the hood on an old car. You're like, there you go. She's all set.
She's going to find so many weird scabs all over her body in the next week and be like, what the fuck is this?
And then he turned to them and said, that will be $1 million, please. I'm kidding. I'll give you the real rate tomorrow.
Now I own her.
That's right. So Cara's eyes have now opened. They find Kaylin, and Cara says, thank you, my sister. Kaylin smiles to herself knowing that Cara did hear her say that she wasn't alone, when she's just in there holding her. Cara was present for all of that. And that's really, it wasn't sweet, but it, that meant something to her that Kaylin was there.
Yeah. And that it helped. Like, it meant something to Kaylin. It meant something to Kaylin that it actually helped her, and she wasn't just speaking into the void.
Right. And Kaylin tells her that, hey, we got Marlon.
Got that fucker.
Silver lining. And Cara says to Kaylin that, you make me proud to serve with you. Sorry you went through all the trouble of healing me for nothing.
Cryptic?
And for no reason whatsoever, Kaylin lets that go.
Yeah.
Right on by.
Yeah.
And then Drefan kind of intercedes here with his questioning, because now she's awake. And so we don't get back to that.
No.
In the chapter. And it is wildly frustrating. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah. What are you alluding to? Is the Dreamwalker in your brain? We need to talk about this.
Well, Drefan asks her how she feels. She looks up at him. That's how the words go.
Yeah.
With a curious expression on her face and says, Lord Rahl? With panic too. That wasn't, I didn't sound panicky when I did that. I felt like that, the narrator, in the Harry Potter movie, where the book says, and he gently asks Harry, did you put your name in the goblet? And in the movie, he's like screaming it at him.
Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of blood?
I just missed the emotion there, so I apologize. But so she, I don't know. She thinks she sees Lord Rahl, and Drefan goes, no, I'm Drefan. And then he pulls back his cowl, revealing his face. Now, earlier, I said that I kind of pictured this guy when he was coming down the ladder and all creepy to look like Sid from Slipknot. He does not.
No.
I mean, not Sid personally, just like the mask, right? This dude takes off his cowl and he is an angel. They're shocked as he reveals that Darken Rahl was his father too. He's Richard's half-brother.
Coincidence?
But wait, there's more. He's the same size and build as Richard, but with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh.
Impossibly handsome, would you say, perfection?
Yeah. Like a certain standard of being.
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know. That's a little risky, buddy. Okay, I know he's not, but like, Terry apparently is digging the blonde and blue on this guy.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's very perfect. Richard did not have this certain perfect quality.
No.
But Drefan does.
Yeah.
Now look, you wouldn't mistake them for each other, right? But you could tell they're brothers pretty fucking easily.
Yeah. They have the same look about them.
Well, that's when Cara's Aegil comes up in her fist. And here's where we realize that she didn't think she was looking at Richard. She thought she was looking at Darken Rahl.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
See, that's why...
And that's the end of the chapter.
I think we should have distinguishing titles for each of them. Like, Lord Dickfucker, and then, like...
Lord Dickfuck.
Captain Awesome Rahl, like two totally different things, so we can easily distinguish when we're talking about Lord Rahl. Are you talking about the piece of shit guy who came before?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you talking about the awesome one we have now? We shouldn't have the same title, the same exact name. That's problematic.
The former Lord Rahl. It's kind of like how once you were the president, they just call you president forever. Now, sometimes, like on the news, it'd be like... referring to a former president, and they'll say that, but when you speak to him, it's just president. So maybe they have something like that with like the former Lord Rahl, but she wouldn't say that when addressing him.
I'm just saying, when she talks to Richard or like refers to Richard, I wouldn't want to be referring to this person that I admire so much in the same way that I referred to such an awful human being. Like, it would not feel...
You would call him Richard.
Like good in my mouth, yeah, or
Papa
something
Rahl.
different. Yeah, Papa Rahl.
Papa Rahl.
Lord Richard. How about that? Lord Richard. Get rid of the Rahl. Rahl is not the important part here.
Right, that's true.
Something like that. Because this is not comfy. I don't like it.
Lord Awesome Rod.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Or we could call Richard Lord Dick, since that's a shortened...
Lord Dick. There you go.
A shortened version.
Lord Dick.
Of Richard.
Sure.
And we know that he's swinging that sword around, so...
I fucking love it.
Anyways.
Well, if you wanted to let us know what you thought about this episode, you can send an email to podcastatt@gmail.com.
Yeah, you should tell us what you think that we should call Lord Dick. What do you think his new title should be?
The better title, the new and improved.
Yeah.
Or what we should call Drefan.
Yeah. Or
like
Darken. Give any ideas. I would love.
If you want to, you can follow us on all of our social medias. And if you really enjoyed this episode and you wanted to show a little bit of support, you can get on patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge. We would much appreciate it. But hey, if you can't support that way, you can always just go ahead and give us a positive rating and review on anywhere you listen. We would appreciate that a hell of a lot. Helps other people find the podcast and spreads the truth.
And it makes us feel good if it's nice things.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. If you didn't like the show, then do not do that.
Send us a message and we'll privately feel bad.
We'll privately feel bad, and then we will aim to correct the thing that made you not like the show.
Yeah.
So then you can give us a positive review.
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys one more time for listening. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.